says right on my screen that it's showtime.
Yeah.
Now it's officially showtime. It says we're live.
Bam.
What's up, everybody? We're live. It's home service happy hour. Now, this is confusing to even me because it's home service happy hour, but it's a webinar. But it's the night we usually do the late night happy hour. Mind blown. Ugh. Can't even keep up. Let's see here. There we are. I see us. Let me turn this thing public. Let me turn off my volume so y'all don't need to listen to my phone making noise. Get this baby public. Why is it being weird? I didn't want to click on that. Bad thumbs. I got bad thumbs tonight, Shawn. My thumbs are all right. Marty made it home. Marty was traveling. Marty made it home. We like high-fived. Tag, you're it. I got stuff to do. But she made it home safely. There was like crazy storms that blew through. I don't know if they hit you guys or not. 2 nights ago. Not last night, the night before.
Yeah. We did get it.
Yeah, I was gonna say there were like tornado warnings and all sorts of crazy shit going on.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. Marty like flew into Chicago, got there just before all the crazy ass storms. And then had to hide in the hotel.
Right.
And did what any plotter would do. She hid in the bar. It's a perfect spot. Nothing's gonna find you there. You hide in the bar.
That's right.
She's super good. If you're just catching up with us, folks, it's recruiting webinar number 3. I'm gonna set the table a little bit here because we're 2 down, and even after this one, we got 2 to go. This is like the midway point, and so tonight's still gonna be valuable. You're still gonna get some good stuff out of this one. I'm gonna go back and revisit the first 2. I do suggest you go back and watch those 2 because if you do those and then do this, it'll make this all that much more valuable. So you're gonna want to do that anyway. Let me refresh my page here. There we go. Now we're out there.
Is it up there now?
It's up there now. We out there.
Yeah.
So let me reframe everything about why we're doing a recruiting webinar series. Actually, let me first address why I'm looking like Bobby Walker in here with the tank top on. I'm going America. I got on today during our radio show. We just got into the assassination debate and all the whatevers go along with that. We're just having some fun talking about it, just talking about how weird our world is. But it felt primed as I was picking a shirt for tonight. And normally I don't pick a shirt. I just keep wearing the same shirt that I've been wearing because I'm one of those guys. I just don't really care what shirt I'm wearing. Except I just cut Crosby's hair, my 2-year-old that had like Joe Dirt mullet. His hair looks like mine now. I mean, like we went high and tight. He's way faster. Can't even keep up with the dude. But then I was just covered in his hair, so I had to switch shirts. You know, was thumbing through the closet, and I came across this baby, and I just felt like this was the right shirt for tonight. Talking Cruton, talking America.
Cruton in America.
Always be Cruton, ABCs. So here's why we're doing a webinar. The labor market's changing, which is like turning into our favor, but we're still running into people that can't find good candidates, can't hire good people, can't keep good people. And so there's a need in the marketplace for education on this thing. And it's too much to fit into one episode. I think each of these is 30 to an hour, meant to be 30, but I'm on here. And so it goes an hour. That's just kind of what happens. And so we broke it into 5 parts. There's 5 really good parts to a recruiting system. This is part number 3 that we're covering tonight. I'm going to quick rehash number 1 and 2. Totally suggest you go catch those. If you watch those and take the nuggets from those, it's going to make this one that much better. And the next 2, even that much better. And the next 2 will be 2 weeks out and then 2 weeks out from there. So priming you up for your fall hiring to make sure you have everybody that you need. So episode 1, if you go back and catch that one, that was all about researching your labor market, making sure you know who you're competing with, who's searching for your jobs, what they're searching, right? Nobody's searching to be a window cleaning technician. Nobody types that into Indeed. So if you're typing window cleaning technician or insert your industry there, your clicks are like going to be way cut in half. Nobody's searching for that shit. You got to go figure out what they're searching for. So do your labor market research. Go back to video number 1. Crush the labor market research. And I think Shawn maybe even like hinted that just hit his calendar up, and then he'll show you how to do the labor market research. Like, hit this guy up. Second part, webinar number 2, we talked about how to write efficient job ads and how to use some technology to do that. And I don't even think we got to it because we went so long that I think I just babbled on and we never even got to like you giving away your prompt. But same thing, book some time with Shawn and he will show you how to get your ChatGPT prompt set up so that you can write a super badass job ad real fast. Now, it's not as easy as that because Indeed has different things that it's looking for versus Zip versus Craigslist versus Facebook. So it's super dependent on where you're posting those job ads as to what structure they need to be and all that stuff. Again, go back and catch webinar number 2 so that you can maximize application flow, which gets us to webinar number 3 that Shawn's going to break down for us tonight. And again, the labor market's changing. So this is kind of how I want you guys to look at this is if you do number 1 and number 2, that was like a potty joke. Is that what that's what that turned into? If you do your labor market research and you write really good job ads, you're going to create a different problem, which is you're going to have a shitload of applicants. That's a very solvable problem. That's a problem we're going to help you solve right now. And I will tell you, you want a shitload of applicants. On average, depending on your labor market, some are worse, some are better. But our data says you need 100 applicants to find a good employee. And so you might get 100 Indeed applications or wherever you find them. Maybe 10 to 20 of those are even people you want to talk to. And half of those no-show you. And so you're down to 5 to 10 that you're picking from. And so you need 100. Don't stop until you have 100. But you don't have time to look at 100 shitty resumes on Indeed. Ain't nobody got time for that. And so how the hell are you going to go through those? Now, you could like hire a VA to look at all of them, but what do they know about looking at a bullshit resume on Indeed? They don't, right? They're just guessing. And so we need math. We need science to figure out who we want to talk to and who we don't. So we just cut past the 90 that we don't want to talk to and just talk to the 10. Shawn, how am I doing?
Good. I mean, that recaps it real good. The only one thing that I would add that I don't know that we made a part of it, and it's still really important, although the labor market is become a bit easier to get application flow, and in some areas really a lot easier, not just a little. But if you're still struggling and you have a lot of competition out there, we still want to make sure that you understand that you're going to need to boost probably to get really good people, to get a lot of application flow going. So boosting doesn't just go away because the labor market softens up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. And we've hit on this before, not on this webinar series, but just in all of our bantering over the years, is it's the cheapest, best investment you can make. You never regret having an awesome employee. Like, yeah, good customers, cool, but shitty employees, awful. You never regret finding your A+ employee that sticks with you for years and years and years. They are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, like a good technician in most industries brings you $100,000 or more dollars in tons of industries. And so it's just so funny how tight people get and not willing to invest in that. So to your point, Shawn, even when the labor market is good, like go get more, right? When demand is good, you're not like, oh, I'm going to tone down my marketing because it's cheaper for me to find customers. You're like, let's go effing get it. Let's get as many as we can possibly get, right? So when the labor market is good, why the hell wouldn't you do the same thing? Let's go get, I mean, it's like we can go get the customers. So let's go get as many employees as we can possibly get. Why would you let that slow you up? Talk to a client today who's like, yeah, we could sell some more, but we just don't have the capacity to produce it. Like, solve that. Go solve that, right? You wouldn't say, oh, we just can't find the clients to do it. You would go start knocking doors. You would spend more on ads. You would go do other stuff to go solve the demand side. Go solve the capacity side. Go get some more employees. All right, let's get to the nuts and bolts. Maybe today we keep it to 30 minutes. Who knows?
You never know.
We're already a third of the way there, so I kind of but we'll see. So let's say, Shawn, let's use me as a case study.
Yeah.
I posted a job for which I'm down to 3 on my bench. I had 10. I'm down to 3 that I still want to hire. I guess I'm at 3.5 because we have 4, but one of them starting next week. So I'm going to be down to 3. Got to start recruiting. Always be recruiting. I I think I spent about $1,000 in boosting, maybe a little bit less, somewhere between 500 and $1,000. This is a while ago. This was like 6 months ago. And I think we ended up, now I'm sure more have trickled in. I think we're somewhere between 400 and 500 applicants. And I had 10 that I really liked. And again, now I'm down to 3. So about 1 out of 50 is what I hit. But I'm weird because I'm hiring bookkeepers that are, I'm going across the country, right? Most 99% of us are hiring local. And so that's more like 1 out of 100 instead of 1 out of 50. So I want to say I spent $500 to $1,000. I got around 500 applicants. I found 10 people that I want to hire. Now I might not hire all of them, right? But that was a pretty damn good result. Again, keep in mind, that was 500 people. I got 10 that I want to hire. I think I probably interviewed 50. That math is just plays out. I'm just like saying what happened, and I didn't like backtrack it, but that's exactly what we just said. Like you'll interview about 10%. And I'm hiring a remote work from home position. I'm not even hiring a tech position, and 10 of them made it through. 10% of them made it through to get interviewed. Could you imagine if I had to go figure out the other 450 that never made it to me? How miserable would that have been, weeding out those 450 people? And
you wouldn't have gotten to the 10 that you have possibly. Taking that much time to go through all 500.
Yeah, they would have been gone.
Yeah.
They'd have been gone. No interest. My boy Duke, he said, I had an applicant put down video games for skills. Is that a good thing?
If you're hiring for, if you're
hiring for a video game, technician, then that'd be a good thing. Duke is more full of shit than I am, actually. Not like as I read his comment, I think there's a small percentage of the population that's more full of shit than me. Duke's got me beat by a ways, I think. Minus
lawyers and politicians.
That's a different full of shit. Yeah, that's like a non-comedic, not funny full of shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's not as fun. So let's get into this, Shawn. When we're getting all these applicants in, I know there's some filtering things. Duke said, no, this happened. I totally believe.
Nothing surprises me. Nothing surprises me anymore.
I think the thing that's full of shit is that a good thing? That's the part that's full of shit. I believe that I had an applicant put down video games for skills. That part I totally believe. Maybe Duke, if it was like Duke had a metal stamping business, so maybe if they had like a remote control drive a robot thing and like use that to stamp some metal, maybe then it would be a good thing. Well, let's get into this. So we get all these. I'm going to use Indeed / ZipRecruiter because I understand those a little bit more. You can take us into the other job boards and wherever else. Let's use Indeed because that's probably where most people are. Just like if they're doing it themselves, that's probably where they're running some ads. So we get a bunch of applicants coming in. What are the filtering things that we should do in Indeed? Because there's some things that can be done in Indeed. And then let's stay there for a little bit, talk about that, and then we'll transition from there into post-platform filtering, if that's it's a thing I made up, but it's a thing. Post-platform filtering, PPF. We'll call it that. Yeah.
So, and Indeed, there's a few things you can. They've got questions that you can ask in there if you want to start using some of their questions. I'm not a big fan of what they've got because Indeed is trying to be the recruiter for every single industry, every single job, and they don't have it niched into different job titles and industries.
And what you're looking for.
Yeah. So it's very generic and it's not, I don't think, very effective. But you can use it to at least do some things.
Is there? Would you use it for like knockout things where it's a yes or no, just to try to eliminate people before you get them and start dealing with them in your funnel?
Yeah, because I don't like doing that too much in the job ad because it's a job ad to attract, not to detract. So these, if I see 5 or more requirements, driver's license, background check, somersaults, and everything else, then that's a problem.
I gotta hit this. Teresa McConnell, my girl.
Teresa, what's happening?
Yeah, I got the bald eagle tank going. And she also agreed their questions suck.
Well, yeah, hey, I'm trying to be nice about it. That's she's like hitting it over the fence. So you can try that, but you don't. The one thing I'll caution: just don't do it in a job ad. So I would tell you that no matter what board you're using or platform you're using, Meta or Facebook or whatever, Craigslist, Zip, get them out of it as quickly as possible so you can do the screening you want to do. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, get them out. Now, so get them off the platform, get them into your form, which I want to get into your form in a second. I do recall, because I use Hire Lead Chill for our recruiting, which is why the hell we're talking to you anyway. I do recall when I started recruiting for my account manager position, there was like a step that I had to go through, and Nikki coached me through it, like what I needed to do to enable me to like even pull people out of Indeed. Is that still a thing? Like there's a specific setup there that you need to request from them?
There is. There's a couple ways that you can get them out. You can, there's automated messaging you can do so that when somebody goes in there, you can say, click this link, that'll redirect you to something. Okay. Indeed has a redirect link that you can use. But you need to go through a lot of hoops to get it set up if it's not already set up, but you can use that so that when somebody sees your job ad on Indeed and clicks on it, it can redirect you somewhere else.
Is that what we did for me? I feel like that's familiar. I think that's what we set up for me. And it was like I had to get Indeed on the phone and like ask them to enable it, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into it. Yep. You can't really do too much on ZipRecruiter with that, except maybe message somebody. All these platforms that we use, no matter who it is, except for Craigslist, is different because Craigslist has been the same for 35 years.
They just don't even care. They're just right. Hey, welcome to our classified ad.
Exactly.
Hang out as long as you want.
It. So you really have to message the people a lot of times because platforms want you to stay in their platform. That's why they're trying to we're the recruiting, full-time recruiting type of thing for you, platform for you. And they just aren't. They're just not that good at it. But Craigslist, you can put a hyperlink in there. So it's easy to get out of there. You just put the hyperlink in, click here to go wherever you want to take them. We take them to our online application, which has the job description, all the things they want to read on, the wages and all that stuff. Click here to start the application. So
Zig said, this guest is way better than the shit that you had on last time.
Thanks, Zig.
We'll see if Jeff gets on and reads that one. I like to poke that bear. Duke, hitting the gun show. Yeah, baby.
Joe's got a good question.
Joe Devno said, surprise, Craigslist still works. Isn't that crazy that it's like even still around? How has it not even evolved one bit?
It's insane.
I can't think of any other thing since I've been alive that has that has not evolved. It has stayed the same and is still like the top dog at what it does. Like Facebook Marketplace is kind of competing with it, but Craigslist is still Craigslist. It's just doing Craigslist stuff. It's crazy. It must cost them less than $100 to administer that site.
It's got to. It's got to. And it's with AI. Maybe that's it. So quick with Joe though. Joe, it worked really great for like 30 years ago when it came out, or 30 whatever it was. Then it stopped working for like 8 years or something like that, and it's working really, really good in certain parts of the country. But what I found out is none of us knew how to use it properly. We know how to use it properly now, and it's a big, big difference in what we do and how we do it. I think we touched on it a little bit last webinar.
When you're talking about job ads, you specifically mentioned Craigslist, and there's like a specific format to post it. And if you get that right, and just in pockets and using gigs, like if you're in Holiday Lights and you post it as a gig, it can crush it in just certain like dynamics where you're hitting the right population with the right metric, which is super cool. Which is going to, again, lead to the problem we need to solve tonight, which is how the hell do you get through all these applicants? So message number one I'm hearing from you, Shawn, is get them out of whatever the hell platform they're in. Craigslist, probably just drop a link in there, I assume, and they click on that link, right? Indeed, you get the redirect link. ZipRecruiter, you said you just need to like message them and say, here's the link. Facebook, can you embed the link, or like Facebook is getting weird?
You can embed the link in Facebook. So, we've all seen those Facebook quick videos or shorts or ads. You can click on something, you can redirect them.
Okay. So we're redirecting them. Where should we have a career page that we redirect them to? Like, is it a jot form? Is it a what thing are we using? What platform are we bringing them to when we redirect them? How do you recommend doing that?
You can use all kinds of things that are out there. Google Forms and Jot Form are probably the top two. You can create different drop downs if you want, open-ended questions if you want in either of those. When they hit submit, there's automation in both of those forms that you can send something out. But I would set it up as an online application. I would set it up. This is our online application. I would have more about the job description, keep your branding the same so they know who you are and where you're at. And, these guys are applying to 30 different places sometimes, not probably 10 at least. They need
in about 12 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
They apply to 10 jobs.
Yep.
Should it be like a URL on your website? Should it be like right to a careers page on your website? So it kind of like brings them full circle back to who the hell they're actually applying for?
I would say to redirect it directly to the form, because the less clicks, the better.
Yeah, not like to the general website and then instructions to go to your career page, but like have it in a career page in a form on your website so that they end up on your website and it looks legit and like they're applying to a real legit company.
Our customers, a lot of our clients do that. Yep, it's right there embedded right on the careers page.
Okay, so we get them there. Maybe they answered a few questions in whatever job board that they're in. Oh, hold on. Suzanne asked a question. We kind of hit on it already, but let's quick get this one. Where is the redirect link? That's specific to Indeed. If I'm
you got to call your rep.
Okay. Yep. So if it's Indeed to redirect it, call your rep. They're giving you a link, or are you giving them a link?
They'll give you. You'll have to give them a link, and then they put you through a bunch of hoops. They're going to click on it. They're going to test it. They're going to want to know what's going on with it.
Okay. So it's your link to wherever you're trying to redirect them to. You're sending that to your rep and saying, hey, I need this. I need anybody that applies to be redirected over here.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Ryan Edrington says, step 1, marry a former recruiter. Step 2, tell her to figure it out. Don't mess with her. Nailed it. I like that. It's a good 2-step process. Real succinct. All right, so we get them to this career page, this application we want them to fill out.
And real quick, Ryan, your wife uses us. Uses Hire Lead Chill. Yeah. So she's got it figured out.
Marry a recruiter. Step 2, tell her to figure it out. Step 3, she hires Hire Lead Chill, and then she can focus on growing the business instead of clicking on a bunch of applications. Now, when you get them into that form, give us a little lay of the land of like, what does that form look like? What are some of the questions you want to do? And how do you lay it out? Here's my concern that I want you to address, which is, you already said it. They applied to like 30 jobs all at once. And so I assume they can't be like hanging out for 10 minutes. They're not going to give you 10 minutes of their time, right? You're going to get a minute of their attention, maybe. How do you get them to fill out they just click the button on Indeed. Now they're like, where am I going over here? How do you get that conversion for that? If it's a good candidate, they're spending the time to fill out your form so that you get their info and know that they're interested.
What we do and what we recommend, the number one thing you can do is the owner or the manager of the company has a video on the very top of that form. So it's the very first thing they see. I mean, we've been doing this long enough now in the digital marketplace that we all know video captures attention more than just a form, right? Or anything. That's what captures everybody's attention. It's a 45-second video, not bragging about the company, not saying we've been in business a bazillion years like everybody has. All right. I mean, that's not competitive advantage there. But you want to just talk about why they're going to wake up every morning and love to come to work for you. Hi, my name's Shawn Day with ABC Cleaning Company. Let me tell you why you're going to love waking up and coming to work here. And just list 2 or 3 things. And then say something like, this is going to be the most unique online application you've ever filled out. And make it so. We do. We've got all kinds of questions that are really, really interesting questions, and it's a different experience. We get feedback from candidates all over the country that tell our clients that was really different. They like it. It's exciting a little bit to do it. It's fun.
I'm gonna I'm going to stop you right there because that's why I love group interviews so much. And the way by the way, I didn't get in. I forgot to set the stage for what 4 and 5 are going to be. I'll do that when we wrap up today, but we still have 2 webinars to go. I'm going to totally hijack the next one because I'm super passionate about group interviews. I use them. That's just what I use. That's all I use. And it does that same thing, which is it makes it a totally different feel when I interview them the way that I do. I'm going to teach it to you guys. I'm not going to hold out. I'll even give you literally like the presentation that I go through with them. You can change it to your info. But man, if you with how many applications they fill out in 2 seconds, you have to be memorable, right? Like you need to be setting yourself apart. We've said it before on the series already, but like this is the biggest sale of your life. This is the person that's across from you that you're trying to recruit is the most valuable part of your business. They're worth hundreds of thousands of dollars compared to your customer that's worth maybe a couple grand, maybe 10 to 20 grand at the most. The person sitting across from you that you're about to hire is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so you got to go all out. You got to make sure they choose you. And they just applied to 30 places. So it's got to be different. It's got to be memorable. It's got to be fun. You got to be wearing the bald eagle tank top, baby. You got to be memorable.
We call it on the demand side, we call it a customer experience. We need a candidate experience too, man.
Yeah. Maybe the bald eagle tank top's not for everybody, but it's probably for more people than you think. All right. So we get them to our form and we're going to hit them with a couple questions. Give us like, I don't think we need to go through all the questions that you guys asked, but give us some nuts and bolts of the types of questions you're trying to filter through there.
Sure.
Are they closed-ended? Are they open-ended? Are they yes or no? Are they true or false? Are they multiple choice? What do you work with?
Yep. Couple things. One is, first of all, you want to try to make it 5 minutes or less. We see a big drop-off rate if it gets up to like 7, 8, 9 minutes to go through. So that's number one.
They're just ADD like a business owner. They're not going to hang out there that long.
Yeah, no, not at all. So first part, contact info, including email and mobile number for sure. Those have to be required fields. Number 2, a couple of knockout questions. Driver's license. Maybe do you work 30 minutes from this zip code? So they don't, if they're driving an hour, probably want to get rid of them. Just a couple knockout questions. Okay.
What happens if they answer right? And what happens if they answer wrong?
Depending on how you set up the job form, you could have some of the job forms, Jot form and Google form. I believe if you haven't, and I haven't used them in a long time because we use our own thing. We don't use that. But I think you can set it up where if they hit something that says no and you want it to be yes, it'll redirect them wherever that is to another kind of page that you can create in there that just says
peace out page.
Yeah, like see ya. The way you answered that last question ain't good. We got to go.
Yeah, we're going to save you some time. You don't need to fill the rest of this form out. We already know what we need to know.
Yep. So that's sort of what happens with that. Now, with the other thing though, if you've got to be available. So if they reach out to you with a question, please respond to them for 2 reasons. One, it's the right thing to do. They live in your community. Give them some dignity. Number 2, I've seen or talked to business owners by the dozens that have said they didn't get back to some dude and he went to Google, gave him a 1-star review and says his company sucks. They don't get back to you when you call them. It sounds like a customer or a prospective customer, and Google won't take that down. So make sure you get back to them if they're,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it can hurt the other side of your capacity and demand equation if you suck at dealing with the applicants.
Big time. So that's the first 2, contact, knockout, and then you want to get into the screening stuff. We don't ask any open-ended questions. Open-ended questions, tell me about this, describe that. What was it like the last time, blah, blah. And then the problem with that is about 85% of the people are on this freaking thing, like every one of us. We carry this thing all over the place, this phone, and they're going, you can't text. You don't want them texting line after line after line on a phone. That's a nightmare. They're going to jump off.
They're going to stop filling out your application because you asked them an open-ended question and they're filling it out on a phone.
And what's an open? How many great answers have you had in open-ended questions? They're all bullshit. They do nothing.
I was gonna say, I've definitely hired some people that answered great on open-ended questions, and what I found is all I hired was people that were good at interviewing, and probably I should have been hiring for a sales role because that was their only skill set. They weren't actually good at the position I was recruiting for. They were good at bullshitting me. And and I'm a sucker. Apparently I'm a sucker because I hired plenty of them in my day.
And so we like to use drop-down menus. We use a couple yes, no's, but I like the drop-down menu, 3 options. Choose one of our 3. You can't make up your own. Choose one of our 3. That's what we go with.
Give me an example or 2 of what you would do with that.
Sure. So we've got basically 4 categories I recommend that you look into. The first category that you need to really consider on how you ask questions to find this out, I think is maybe the most important of all things we need to uncover. And that is, are you going to last either the whole season if you're like Christmas light installers, or are you going to last a long time with our company? That's important to know, right? Because if they last a long time, everything else is working. They like their job.
I mean, like everything is working. That means they like you and you like them, which is pretty damn important. It's like dating. If it lasts a long time, something's working.
Something's good. Everybody's winning, man. Customer, you, the company, and then the employee.
Do you have an example of a question you'd ask in that space of like how long? Because you're not going to ask them, hey, how long are you going to stay here? Like, what do you ask to try to get at that?
So one of the things that we ask, and again, we've got a lot of data backing this up, so we've been doing this long enough. You'll want to track things if you're putting your own thing together, and track things when you hire somebody. You can look back at how they answered and try to duplicate those and just track that stuff. Okay, so for example, we ask a question with the drop-down menu. Okay, remember one of our 3 answers. And one of the questions is, what would upset you the most if you got this job? One of the answers they can choose is, someone's always late to work and the owner or manager doesn't say a thing about it. Okay, on the surface, sounds like a reasonable answer. I show up 10, 15 minutes early every day. Joe shows up late every day, and the boss man don't say nothing.
Look at Joe's even asking. Joe even asked me earlier, just because we got to pick on Joe now. Joe wanted to know, hey, should do I get a signing bonus? I mean, he framed it different than that, but Joe even wanted to know right away if he gets a signing bonus. Well, Joe, we got to get back to Joe's question. Suzanne asked a question too, so I got to get back to that. Sorry, I just couldn't resist making fun of Joe since you were just talking about Joe.
No worries.
I got distracted,
What is the webinar? So what was it? Oh, we're trying to find out if they're going to last long or not.
Yeah.
One of the answers,
I totally sidetracked you.
Yeah. So one of the answers is, what upset you the most if you get this job? One of the answers is, somebody's always showing up late to work and the owner doesn't say a thing about it. Here's the data we have. On average, when we had the data for our own company, and this has proven to be true for almost every single one of our clients we recruit for around the country. And that is, the answer, basically those that answer that way, someone's always late to work and the owner or manager doesn't say anything about it, only last an average of about 3 months or less with our company at that time.
They hardly make it through training.
Oh, it was 7 months or less. The other one that I'll talk about was less, the Luck and Life one. So about 7 months or less with that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as I dug into it, what we found out was this. If you look into it, I tried to find out who are these people that answer this way and why are they not good too many times? Not all of them, but too many of them. And
it's
what we found,
it's a ding on the record. It's
like it ain't good. It ain't good. And so I didn't know if there would be a common denominator, but at that time when we were with Blue Skies, we had hundreds and hundreds of people that answered that way and stuff. People we started doing business
we had to be hiring 300 people a year.
Yeah.
Like when you look at it, hundreds of people a year.
Crazy. And now at that time, we also were taking on customers with recruiting. So we're collecting all kinds of stuff. And what we found was that most of these people that were no longer with us and only lasted and answered that way tend to be your gossipers and drama lovers. They love to stir the pot. They love to run their mouth, and they love ruining your culture.
Way more concerned about what everybody else is doing than what they're doing.
That's exactly what it was, man. Exactly what it was.
And that's an interesting way to answer it too, because unlike in an interview where you ask an open-ended question and they're just going to sell you some shit, like the way they answer that is not a question that's going to trip their trigger of like, that's not a good answer, right? And I've seen those questions that you ask, and I think you do a really good job of asking questions where none of them seem like the wrong thing.
Right.
Like they can't game it, where it's like when you fill out a disc profile, I don't know. And I see a lot of recruiting companies using like disc techniques, right? Like I even have a hard time filling that out and being honest with myself about how I really am. I always say, like, it's pointless for me to fill one of these out. Literally, the only thing I'm going to find out is exactly what I want to find out.
Yep.
Because I'm the one filling it out. Like, if
Yep.
I do a disc profile, Shawn, you should fill it out, and 10 other people that know me really well should fill it out. That's my true disc profile, not what the hell I think I am.
Well,
or I want to believe that I am.
Here's something interesting. Go ahead.
No, I just find, like, I see other recruiting companies profiling candidates, and the candidate fills out the profile, and the same shit that happens in a bad interview happens when they fill out this profile, which is they fill it out for what they want you to think.
That's
in
exactly right.
Your questions, they don't know what the right answer. There is no right answer. When they're filling out those forms, like, there is a right answer, and they know what it is, and they're going to fill out what they think you want to hear, not what the truth is. Right? It's gameable. Yours, to your point, that seems like a great answer. That's a super valid answer to that question, but they don't know what the hell the data says. It's freaking sneaky. You're like a ninja.
like Tommy Boy Ninja. So if you and here's I love talking about things that make me sound very humble, and that is if you look up and Google predictive index or disc profile, which have been around for like decades, okay, you're going to find literally YouTube channels telling you exactly how to answer that based on the job title you're looking for. I will humbly say that I am not important enough to say, here's Shawn Day's freaking screening process for home service industries. Ain't nowhere to be found, folks, and probably never will be, because I ain't that damn important, and that's just fine with me.
Yeah, we'll just use data that actually helps you hire people. So there's the first set of questions. That was category 1. Hit us with category 2 here.
Real simple. Just want to make sure they're a good fit for the industry, because if it doesn't work for them, it doesn't work for us. So I'll give you an example, and this is for most of us out there that go to our clients' place of work or home, which is pretty much all of our space, right? That's the space we love. And that is, we want to know something like this. If which one of these 3 things would upset you the most if you got this job? The schedule in the morning looked like you'd be done by noon. The schedule changed at 2 p.m. that day. Now you're working till 6. If that's one of the 3 answers that upset you the most, we score that really, really, really low. It's hard to get to the interview table if you answer that one, because that happens every freaking day in our business. And I tell people, when I see clients that have close to 5, it happens probably about every week. If you have 10 or more, it's happening daily.
Damn near daily.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 or 3 a day. Sometimes
big time. So that's category 2.
I like it.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. What you got for number 3?
Category 3 is very unique to us. Again, you're not going to find this on other screening shit that's out there. So I learned this when I had my own company, my own cleaning company, and I really started to figure some things out and notice some things. And then I got really interested in starting digging into it and using it, and it was working. And that is basically this. If you can hire even technicians that understand business more so than other technicians, okay? What do I mean by that? They tend to be much better, okay? If they understand business a little bit, they tend to be much better employees. And we found out that there's sort of 4 things that might come to the surface. Mm-hmm. It's really hard that they get all 4 of these things. And let me just make...
if they did, they would probably be running their own business at that
Exactly. And the other point I want to make, what do I mean by understanding business? I don't expect them to write a SWOT analysis, get some formulas and spreadsheets and create our marketing strategy. But I think maybe if their parents owned a business, they worked for their uncle that owned a pizza place maybe when they were teenagers, their best friend owned it. If they are around or knew some business owners, I know this for sure, because I know a lot of business owners and I've talked to a lot of them. I know this for sure. 99.9% of us work our asses off. We work ungodly amount of hours. We truly care about people. We truly care about our great employees, our communities, and we are really hardworking, good people. And we're the backbone to your outfit there. We are the backbone of the country. We are the backbone of the country. Right?
America, baby.
Yeah,
America.
Right, we are. Small business. And so that creates sort of empathy.
Mhm.
And if you take the word empathy, that takes it one more step. When they're your employee, there's loyalty there. So that's one of the three things we see in people that we hire that just get business a little bit more than others. Loyalty is one. They tend to come with better judgment. If there's one thing business owners do for a living, it's solve freaking problems every single day. So good problem solving skills, that's number 3. Okay. And like I said, the last one, we don't see this one maybe as much as the rest, but every now and again, we'll luck out and get somebody with really good leadership skills. Not all of them. That's probably the least of them, but our
that's
thing
the
is
hardest thing. Most of us suck at that.
Right,
So
exactly.
it's hard to hire somebody else that's really good at it.
If we get so it's loyalty, it's maybe leadership skills if we can get it, good judgment, good decision making. Okay, and loyalty. If I didn't say that one, so
that was for you hit that one. You got them all. You got them
so
all.
if we get 2 of those 4, we got silver. If we get 3 of those 4, we got gold. It's hard not to get to my interview table if you get 3 of those 4 traits.
Give us an example question of something you'd ask to see if they think like a business owner or empathize with the business owner.
One of the ones that I like, and this is probably a little bit easier for them to figure out. So, but I like to ask them questions, and I phrase it like this: if you own the company, then ask a question. So one of the questions we ask is, if you own the company, what would your attendance policy be? A, 0 days off a month. B, 1 or 2 days off a month. C, and we phrase it a little bit in there like, in today's world, as busy as people are, 3 or 4 times a month call off is just fine. Well, hell no, it's not just fine.
Yeah,
right?
That's not gonna fly.
Well,
I'm gone 20% of the work days in a month.
Yes,
that should be
and
okay.
you would be surprised. You'd be surprised. So we don't let it, again, we don't want it to be super easy to identify. We'll lead them towards the bad answer sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good way to do it.
Figure it out. Let them see if they figure it
and
out.
And then we'll do real quick. We'll do some easy things about what's more important. Attendance, revenue, or expenses. I want attendance because none of that happens without attendance.
Yep. No, good point.
Bunch of those.
What's the fourth one then?
So if you never use us, I beg you to steal this. You can steal you can steal everything we're showing you, right?
Steal everything, but especially steal this.
Definitely steal this one. On a scale from 1 to 10, rate your luck in life. Luck in life. And everybody knows where you're kind of headed with this, but I'll give you the things that I never really saw coming our way. So it's not, it's not just something obvious. But you're right. Yep, we're trying to get rid of the negative people. Sure. First of all, the magic number tends to be under 6. Under 6, run for your life.
The magic number in terms of like those people suck. Not the magic number like you're looking for an answer below 6. Just
correct.
The answers below 6, they're out.
They suck. Run for the hills, man. There's 2 exceptions to that rule, and I'll touch on that in a second. But
a 0, I'm guessing a 0.
That's one of them, yeah. But let me tell you the other thing I didn't see coming with this, and that is that they tend to take 0. Yep, they're negative, but they take 0 ownership when shit goes wrong. It's never their fault.
Well, that's because they're unlucky, Shawn.
Right. It's only raining on them.
It be your fault if you're just unlucky. It's definitely not your fault.
They'll win $50 million in a lottery, and the only thing out of their mouth is bitching about the taxes that they've been having to pay on that money. 2 exceptions to the under 6 rule. Number 1, Dan hit it. It's almost always a 5 or a 0. 5 or a 0. The only question we ask them to explain their answer. It's the only one, and this is why. It's a 5 or a 0, and it's always followed up with something like this. I don't believe in luck. I believe in working hard and being honest, and I'll do the same thing for you. So not believing in luck is a freaking good answer. Yeah. That's a really good answer.
As you can get. This is good as it gets.
Exception number 2. Exception 2 is, I call it the but answer. And it's usually always under a 6. And it's something explained like, I'm normally blessed in life, great friends, and work's great, but I just found out mom's got cancer. I'm not feeling real lucky. Or, but my kid, I just found out has autism, and we're scattering around figuring things out, not feeling real lucky. So a one-off but type of thing, we're going to overlook that a little bit. So 2 exceptions to that under 6 rule. But in general, under 6 sucks.
I like the context. And it's just another one where it's like, there's no right answer. nobody's coming into that being like, oh, this is a question that I've gotten asked in every interview. And so I know exactly how to game this. Or, oh, yeah, I watched the YouTube video with the disc profile of how to fill this out for what somebody's looking for. So let me answer that question. Like,
and the only thing too, and this is just me now. I know people that do this stuff, and and they still think it works. And if it does for them, I'm not going to say anything. I don't really like the stuff where you put them on the spot with, and I think you do this maybe even. And if it works for people, great. I don't like any type of sort of almost disrespectful type of thing that we wouldn't do for a client, or a prospective client. So I don't like the tell me a joke right now. I don't like that stuff. Well, I want to see if they can think on their feet. Is that what you do with prospective clients?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Then do it. Then do it to them too. I just don't. I agree with whatever a prospective client is going to see from you. That's what a prospective $50, $100, or $150,000 revenue producer ought to expect of you.
Yeah, I did use that like tell me a joke question back in the window cleaning days back in the day. Yeah. I got some funny answers. I got some good jokes, but it never was a determining factor. It was just a waste of time. It was never a determining factor in if somebody was going to be a good candidate or not. So it didn't do what I was hoping that it would do, which was gauge if somebody could think on their feet or not. I don't do it because now I do group interviews, which to Suzanne's question here, let me hit on that one. She said, group interview, when is the webinar? Funny you should ask. It's out there, event number 4. I think it's on my Facebook page. So go, if you're not my buddy on Facebook, Suzanne, go add me.
It's game changing. It's
my next event. So I think it's 2 weeks out, but it might be on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it is.
We'll send it out here to anybody that's been on the last webinars. We'll send out, hey, here's the next one. Here's the next one. Here's what's up. So it's out there. I'll drop, actually, Suzanne, when we get off here, I'll go drop the link in the feed on Facebook to this video. And I see she's on StreamYard, so I can send it out to the StreamYard link too. Joe did ask this. Let's answer this one, and then we'll wrap this baby up. See, 46 minutes already. How did that almost 47? How the hell did that even happen? How did that even happen? He said, do you find offering sign-on bonuses happening more?
I don't know. That's a simple answer. I don't. We did when the after COVID, and it was kind of tough and money was tight. It was really competitive. And once they got the COVID money and the money started coming from the government, that really wasn't a factor anymore for job candidates.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I haven't thought about it in like 2 years.
Yeah.
But there was a 2-year stretch 2 years ago where we thought about it a whole shitload.
Yeah.
Because everybody was offering all kinds of goofy shit because nobody wanted to work. It was like, how do we get these people off the bench and out here? And now the opposite is happening, which is there's plenty of applicants, which is why I think this webinar is so damn important, because if you do the right things, you're going to have plenty of applicants. That creates a huge problem of filtering. And so Shawn, let's wrap this thing up. So you take somebody through your form, you ask them these sets of questions. I assume you have a scoring system behind the scenes. I would assume there's like a ranking and scoring that you need so that you can actually, without talking to anybody, know most of the data about them.
I will be able to have interviews set up with people that I've never talked to and that I've never emailed and that I've never texted. And interviews will be scheduled for our clients. And that's because of I
agree, because that is how I got 50.
I just read a post from somebody that's in our line of work that said, those that are just doing automations and workflow, and I'm going, who doesn't do automations and workflows nowadays? You're going to be so far behind. That's how we do volume anything today. And most of the stuff you can do, and there's automation in Google Forms. There's scoring things, and you can set up different scoring and yes, no, pass, fail type of things in there. So set something up. If it's not perfect, do it. And then it's not gonna be perfect until you do it and then perfect it and get it better. That's you got to just get something out there.
Yep, just get her going. So let's go full circle here. Let's go through the process. So you post that job ad out on Indeed. There's a couple maybe knockout style questions on there that you might not use. The big thing is get a redirect link in there or platform.
Get them out of the platform.
Get them off that platform, whether it's a redirect link, whatever it is, to whatever platform you want. in Facebook, Craigslist, just embed the link. ZipRecruiter sounds like it's a little tougher, but get them out of that platform, get them to your form. Suzanne just asked me like the perfect leading question, which is a thing we got to address here. But you get them over to your career page, your form. You get some knockout questions. You get I won't remember and get it all right, but you get 4 different types of questions that Shawn just went over here. So if you just caught on, go back and listen to those, take some notes. Now, as they get through, they're getting scored on those. You got a scoring system behind the scenes. Shawn's got a scoring system. You can have a scoring system of how you want to weight them, right? Use the categories, make up the questions that are important to you. Or use Shawn's system, whatever like floats your boat. Important thing is do it, score them, automate it so that you don't need to sit and ask these questions. That this is just shit they fill out less than 5 minutes, all drop downs. Shawn, I want to hit on one thing because I know you've told me this before, and I filled out my application, so I got to like go through it when you guys set it up for me. Another thing I noticed is you ask one question at a time. It's not a bunch of questions on a form. It's one question at a time so that it just like, it's not this, oh man, they scroll down and go like, I don't have time for all that. It's just one question at a time, real quick. Answer. And so it goes faster that way too. I think it's like more likely that they fill it out.
Yeah. Ours is one question. They tap it on their phone, whatever answer they want, boom, rolls up to the next, boom, rolls up to the next. And you don't want them going like this on their phone. Again, I want it as easy and user-friendly as possible for them to apply.
Heck yeah. Suzanne asked, how many questions? Good question.
Yep. I don't know
about questions.
Suzanne, I don't know. I think I'd ask a different question than you're asking to get you the answer you're looking for. And that is, I think it's more important that it's less than 5 minutes. As long as it's around 5 minutes or less, I don't care if it's 10 questions or 20 questions. I think we average around 20 questions somewhere in there, though, if that helps.
I think that's a good point, too, because the fact that you ask one at a time and they can't see all the rest of the questions changes the importance of how many questions is it versus how long does it take.
Right.
The way you ask it, how long it takes is more important than how many questions there are because they're just boop, 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 boop. Good stuff. So as they're going through that and they're getting scored, as a client, give us the like, what do we see? I'm looking at it from a client's perspective because I'm a client. Give us the what do we see or how should we set it up so that once they answer those questions and it gets scored, now what? Like, what if the score sucks? What if the score is great? What if the score is average?
If you see that, again, it depends on how you can set the automation up. I haven't been in Google in a while, but our system basically, once somebody hits submit, our system knows automatically in a millisecond who needs to get the email that says, hey, thanks, but it didn't work out this time. Have a great day because they didn't score well. We also then can send an automated message, text message, and email a millisecond after they hit submit for those that do qualify that says, hey, man, we are so pumped up. We can't wait to meet you. Please click this link right now to set up a convenient time to interview with us. We want to get you in as soon as possible and probably hired as soon as possible. There's no reason not to tell them, you know what, you did really well. We want you in and hired as soon as possible. Let's see if we can do that. And the important thing is that they have a link to click and a calendar pops up now. That's huge.
Got to get booked now. It can't be that you need to call them to schedule an interview. No, that ain't gonna work. You're already too late.
What do we do with prospects to go to your website nowadays? But you got Responsibit, you got all kinds of things out there. They're getting pricing, they're getting everything they need in a second. Same thing here. We want them to click a button, schedule. Then there's some automation from that we get them to confirm, tell them how excited we are, what to expect at the interview. Huge message to send out for them.
You had asked me this, and I never provided you guys with this, but I was like, "Ooh, that's a good idea," and then I just dropped the ball, so it's my fault. But you had said, "Hey, have an existing employee record a video."
Huge,
something like, "Hey, super excited to have you on the team," or I don't know what phase it was in, if it was after you hire him or before you hire him, but I'll let you take it from there.
It's before, and this will be a great, as we wrap this up, it's a great type of thing to segue into the next one you can touch on again, Dan, and that is, here's what to expect at the interview. 0 questions, 0 stress. We're going to have some fun.
Booyah.
You're going to
That
find
sounds
out
like my
why
type of interview.
Yep.
I'm showing up.
Oh, who doesn't show up to that interview? And that's exactly what your interview is.
It totally is. So let's round it up. Let's webinar 1. If you missed webinar number 1 and webinar number 2, I highly recommend you go back and do it. Same format as this. We're just BSing, but we're hitting all the key points. You guys, Shawn's dropping all the knowledge. Like, you can design this yourself. Shawn, I haven't even had you like plug your service yet. You guys can design all this stuff yourself, or you can use Hire Lead Chill. And there's other recruiting companies out there too. I think from a unbiased, I'm unbiased. I'm totally biased because I use Hire Lead Chill and I own part of it. I'm totally biased, but trying to be as unbiased as possible. Just do this. I don't care if you use Hire Lead Chill. I don't care if you use any other recruiting company that's out there. It's the most important investment you make in your business. Your business sucks if you don't have the best people in the world, and your life sucks if you don't have the best people in the world. Business is not fun when your employees suck. We've all been there. I've been there. You've all been there. If you've ever hired somebody, I'm sure you've hired somebody that sucks. And it's so much more fun running a business when you have the best employees in the world. You fucking deserve that. Sorry for my language. You deserve it. If you're spending all the time, money, effort running your business, you absolutely deserve having the best team in the world. Do not short yourself on this, right? Short yourself on your equipment, short yourself on your marketing, short yourself anywhere else, short yourself on the rent location that you have. Do not short yourself on the best employees in the world. That's what gives you guys the most headaches, right? It sucks having a bad team. So go check out webinar number 1. That's all about labor market research. To make all this stuff work, these steps are all necessary. Go do your research. Know what your job ad needs to have. Video number 2, how to craft that job ad. What tools are out there? How to make it flow and make it fun and hit the keywords that people are actually searching for. Today, we just talked about now that you just got 500 applicants and you boosted a little bit to get them. Now you got to filter them. You got to get down to the few good people efficiently so you don't have to waste a lot of time. So use everything Shawn taught us tonight. Number 4 is going to be group interviewing. If you are still doing one-off interviews, you are just wasting your time. We know it's a no-show culture. That doesn't mean people don't want to work. That doesn't mean they suck. That's just a thing we say when we suck. We blame them, right? Nobody wants to show up. Nobody wants to work anymore. That's just because our processes suck. We haven't figured it out. Well, we're going to teach you what to do. We already just taught you most of what to do. Two more videos coming up. In 2 weeks, I'm just going to look at the calendar here so that you know when it is, and you can put it on your calendar if you want. It is going to be, I'm just waiting for my computer to like switch to the next week so I can get the date. I think it is July 31st.
31st.
Nope,
Yeah.
just kidding. It's on a Tuesday. It is July 30th. Tuesday, July 30th.
Oh, yeah.
30th, 8 p.m. Central. I have a Facebook event out there right now. If you just go friend me on Facebook, you can go add yourself to that event. The StreamYard link is already in there. Again, I'll put the StreamYard link in the comments to this video too, so you got it there. We're going to go all over group interviews, how to set it up, how to execute them, how to make it the most fun, memorable interview so everybody that shows up wants to come work for you because they applied to 30 different jobs, you guys. It's not, are they good? And do you pick them? It's, are you good? And do they pick you? That's the game we're playing. They can go work anywhere. You got to make sure they want to come work for you. So I'm going to teach you how to make them want to come work for you. Big sales present. I'm not selling you anything. You need to make a big sales presentation. I'm going to teach you how to do it.
Real quick to squeeze something in there too, Dan, is after seeing this done, the group interviewing being done by you and other clients of ours, I don't know of a better way to continue screening without them knowing you're screening.
Oh yeah, it's gold. It's the best.
Show up for an answer to that one. That's amazing.
Best. It's the best. You know immediately who's going to be awesome.
Yep.
And I'm going to cover it. And then video webinar number 5, which is going to be 2 weeks out from there, sometime in early August, is all about culture building and retention. How do you take that group interview and make sure that they show up and they stay? Right? Because you can have the best recruiting system in the world, but if you suck to work for and you can't build a culture and you can't build a hopper with more than just one person sitting in there waiting to come work for you, like you're just going to keep spinning your wheels. Yeah, you're going to spend a ton of money on recruiting because you're going to be a revolving door. So you can do all this stuff and then you have to be awesome to work for. So we're going to help you be awesome to work for. We're going to teach you some culture tricks and just cool things you can do to make people want to stay and do an awesome job working for you. And again, like you deserve it. It's amazing to have an awesome team. It is the best thing in the world. It makes business so much more fun, so much more profitable. Stuff you got to do. Let's wrap it up there. If you've never tuned into Home Service Happy Hour before, welcome to the show, by the way. And y'all know what to do. Work harder and smarter. Go earn yourself some pride. Thanks, Shawn. You the man. Nighty night.